How did people in the field apply this to themselves? How did they show up? Leslie, I see you're here. Great to see you again.
It's interesting that you asked me to come on and share because it's something that's difficult for me to do. And I understand Cato had something to do with.
Yes, Kaido recommended you. One of the things he said was, one, he goes, in your work together over the last few months, your focus and your discipline have really dialed in, and you were in the process of closing your largest fee ever. So if you could talk a little bit, Leslie, like what resonated with you when you started working with us? What was that gap you wanted to fix? And what are the things in your work with Kaido that you started applying?
Yeah, I started the program wanting to improve my business systems and to learn new marketing practices. But it turned into joining this really wonderful community of coaches and business owners and recruiters to learn from and share and to feel supported. So that's really been great for me. But I have two coaches, the mindset coach, Cato, and Ardith. We meet once a month, and mindset coach is helping me to unwind disempowering beliefs and turn them into empowered beliefs. So I find this to be extremely helpful and effective, both personally and professionally. I think it's an important key to the program for sure. As I was saying, Cato referred me to speak today, helping me to unwind that disempowering belief that I'm not good at public speaking. So I appreciate that, Cato.
I didn't know that part. That's awesome, though.
Yeah, my strategy coach, Ardith, is just wonderful too. She has such a wonderful business sense and vast amount of experience. She's helped me navigate important decisions for my business and also navigate that learning library specific to my needs, which is really has been wonderful. But now getting to my greatest mental adjustment is tracking metrics. So for sure, because it's everything.
It's great to hear you say that.
No, excuse me, but yeah, we had a really organic approach, if you could call it that, focused on counting placements, which is a really stressful place to be in, I have to say, now experiencing the difference. And I can't imagine I did this long in that way. But to now know by using RU's metric approach, counting the RPs and MPs, and which are recruiting presentations and marketing presentations, and the first time interviews, rather than just placements, has given me more control of my business. So what I love best about the system is the knowing or thinking, the being able to project how much income you want to make and tracking those activities around it. Wow, what a wonderful thing, because it's no longer an endless day.
I love how you said that. So people don't comprehend that. When you say it's no longer an endless day, define, like, for you, what a successful day looks like. And then when you're at the end of that, you're done.
Yeah, we have goals of how many presentations and things we are to meet in a week and spread it out however you want daily. But you know that once you've met your goals for the day, you can step away because you're on track.
Say that again slowly, Leslie, because there's so much wisdom in that, because this is one of the things that keep people overwhelmed as entrepreneurs, because there's always more to do. So say what you said again. Once you set your goals and you know what your income goal is, what your activity goals.
Yeah, you go about doing them, and it's something, they're all activities we do already. They're more concise. What I used to do, I would get overwhelmed by how many things there are to do, but to have a focused approach of, okay, I need X amount of RPs, X amount of MPs, job order submittal, and we're done. Okay, we're going to do it again tomorrow. It gives you so much power and control over your day, your week, your month, your money. It's just incredible. I really feel grateful to having learned this technique. Not that I'm perfect at it, because I'm not, but I'm really focused in it, and as imperfect as I am at it, getting better all the time. I can see a 30% growth in my business just since January, okay? But it started in October, so really terrific, yeah. So I believe as we create new habits of planning, the whole Monday planning meetings are getting me in the habit of planning. And again, I don't fill out this stuff exact, but I'm getting better at it every time I do it. And then it's coming to my mind and I'm like getting in the rhythm of it. So again, that stress isn't there, that emotional stress. And I've observed this from recruiter that works with me, and how she really focused on those placements. And if something slipped up and that person wasn't chosen, you go into this emotional kind of hole. But knowing that, hey, no, we just need to get recruiter presentations going on, more marketing presentations. You're not so tied to each placement. It's an emotional thing. I don't think it's healthy. So I think this is a much healthier approach in balancing your day and in how you approach your business. I was thinking in terms of retirement, I'm so tired of this endless stuff, never feeling really having a grasp on it, which I feel I'm getting now. I started thinking I was going to want to retire, and how am I going to do that? However, after rethinking this approach, I found new interest in my business and possibilities of expanding. Keeping involved sounds much better to me. So I see the value in being connected to people on a mission to learn and grow. Also, that connection with RecruiterU keeps you motivated and on track. That's extremely valuable too.
I didn't know that. I love hearing that. I can tell you, Leslie, how many people, especially when I was doing the intakes, now it's mostly Priscilla, but when I was doing the intakes, but everyone would go, Mike, I got 2, 5, 7 good years left in me. And I got to build up that like nest egg to retire on. And I'm like, you're like, I grew up very Catholic. So you're going to be in 5 years of purgatory of this existence to build up something that hopefully you live through to enjoy 5 years down the road from now, versus what has to be true, Leslie, you started answering that question for yourself. What has to be true for you never to want to retire? What's the role I want to play where this would be fun every day? And you started answering that question. And maybe you do leave recruiting or you cut back your hours, who knows what it is, but your whole mindset shifting from, let me just make enough money to take care of myself and then figure out a way to get to break out of this prison. Wow, this is fun again. What are some of the things you did to make it fun again for you?
Just taking what's advised and trying it on. That if you're not trying it on, then how do you know whether it works? But it seems to be that all of the marketing techniques that you've referred, and even in these share situations, you pick up a lot of information about the way people are doing things. It's a nice check, because you're an island unless you're with a group. I found that, just implementing the tools, even if it's not perfect. Like I said, I'm not to a level of doing metrics absolutely perfectly, but I'm doing it. And everybody that is working with me is doing it. And then we're able to count it and say, hey, wow, it's magic almost. Wow, it just worked. They said this many presentations and you're going to have a placement. And you see those numbers start working, and it's very exciting.
To Leslie's point, we've had clients that have gone 20, 30, 40 interviews, have arranged 20 or 30, 40 first-time interviews, and just stuff blows up and gets canceled, and just nightmare. That could be 3 or 4 months, 5 months of blanking. Thank God it doesn't happen often. And people will call me to walk them off a ledge because they know intellectually, like Leslie was saying, that the placements are going to happen, but they don't know it necessarily emotionally. And I've just got to, okay, I know what you're going to say, like you're going to say I'm due for 5 deals. You're due for actually 6. You're based on your past metrics. You're due for 6 placements. Average fee is $20,000. I don't know when they're going to happen. The business owes you $120,000. And it sounds like you've started to experience that a little bit, maybe not to that level, but you're due for 2 or 3 placements. You've arranged 20 something interviews. Some stuff's happened where before, as you said, marrying yourself to that placement, that's an emotional nightmare.
When it's coming, where it's coming, it's it's awful.
Frances, anything based on what you heard you'd want to ask? Leslie, you've been fantastic. Thank you so much. I appreciate you doing this to overcome your fear of public speaking too. That's like a double bonus.
Yes, it is.
Thank you so much, Leslie. It's just been beautiful to watch from afar your journey and how that models. I love what you were saying. I'm not perfect at any of it. There's no need to be. We don't see perfection in nature, but we do see consistent action, and that idea of I know when I'm done versus seeing the big picture. It's the difference in a goal and a daily commitment, right? Super Bowl, there's 32 teams in the NFL.
There are.
All start the year with a goal to win the Super Bowl, but they're not making a promise. They're not making a commitment. They make their promise and their commitment on what exercise routine will get me there, what nutrition routine, showing up to practices. And when they check that box, now it's time for deep rest and check out, and they have that faith, it will take them there. And so I just love hearing that you've made that distinction and are seeing the results of that. So congratulations. Thank you for sharing.
Leslie, thank you so much for your fantastic share. And hopefully you guys got a lot of ideas on how some of the shifts that she made are also possible for you